Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is a cloudy, dreary Tuesday here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I wanted to take a few minutes and talk about something that I think is very important in the day and times that we currently live in. COVID-19 has changed the way we do business, the way we interview, and the way we operate in general. I am a small business owner, a soon to be children's book publisher, as well as a physical therapist here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I would like to talk to you all about virtual interviews. It is very important for us to show up in a way that exudes confidence and show that we are prepared as well as competent for the position at hand. But the way we do that now is very different from the way we did it this time last year and the years before that. So with COVID-19, a lot of people are actually venturing into different realms of how interviews are done and also how we work. So I actually deliver physical therapy services virtually now. So I sit in front of my computer and I instruct and lead and guide people on how to overcome their physical impairments. And so the way I interview them is through a medium that is similar to what you would use if you actually had a virtual interview with a potential employer. And so there are some very important things that you want to keep in mind. So when you are getting ready for your interview, I always suggest that you take the opportunity to prepare yourself in every way possible. One is with the keys to understanding and knowing the actual position that you're applying for, the requirements that the job is actually looking for in a candidate. You also want to know about the employer, that business, that brand. What does it stand for? What is its mission? What what kind of reviews have they had in the past? What kind of work ethics do they expect? So do your research. You can go online nowadays and find things from a lot of different sources. You can find things from their websites. Oftentimes they have social media pages. You can also go to Google Maps where people can actually use that as a way to leave reviews on the businesses. So do your homework, find out about the business so that you can talk intelligently with the potential people who are looking to hire you for that position. Another thing too, with technology, this is virtual, right? So you're not showing up, you're not having the opportunity to walk into somebody's office, you're not having the opportunity to shake somebody's hand. So you have to present yourself through this virtual medium in a way that exudes confidence, right? So first, what you need to do is make sure you have your equipment set up right? So as you see now, I have a nice light showing on my face, so there's not shadows. I have a clear and clean background. I make sure that my sound is adequate and that you can view enough of my body to see my body language, because they're actually going to be looking at how you posture. And so if you are interviewing, you want to make sure that you show that you're confident. So you want to sit up straight. You want to have on a professional attire that is appropriate for that interview and that particular job that you're interviewing for. You want to make sure that you're groomed properly, your hair, your makeup, your accessories that are appropriate for, again, that job set that you are interviewing for, because you want to show them that you are qualified, that you are prepared, but you also will represent their business in a way that makes them shine. Very, very important, right? So test your equipment. So if it's a phone, you want to make sure the battery has been charged properly. If it's your iPad or whatever, the same thing, you want to actually get on the link and test the link prior to it to make sure the link worked. So if there are any issues, that you can actually reach out to the employer and say, look, something's going on, can you please send me that link again? So don't wait to the last minute, do it the day before and several minutes prior to that. Get everything set up, make sure you have a comfortable chair. You also want to make sure that your environment does not have distractions. So you want to minimize anything that could interfere with that experience. We don't want music going on. We don't want kids running by, making a lot of noise. You don't want your dogs barking. So try to find a space in your home that you can make private, right, for that time, and make sure everybody knows that this is not the time to interrupt. This is not the time to come in, and you want to minimize all those unnecessary distractions, okay? Now, the other things that we talked about is that I think are very important is when you are there with the interview process, you want to make sure you have clear and concise answers. So pause for a few seconds if you have to think about the question that has been posed to you, and then respond in a way that is clear and concise and easy for them to understand the point that you are trying to convey. All right. And some of the other things that I think is also very important, and some of the things that I sometimes run across, is the internet. All right. So some days, obviously, if the weather is really bad, some things are just out of your control. But if there are places in your house that you have better connections with your Wi-Fi, make sure you try to find that space to set up for that interview, because you don't want to be in the middle of something and you lose your connection and then you have to start all over, or you lose the opportunity to be able to continue with that interview. So check for internet connectivity problems and try to resolve those in advance. So you should be natural. You should be yourself, right? Show up definitely at your best, but be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else that you're not, because that in itself can easily be conveyed and seen through the camera. So just go in with confidence in who you are and the skills that you possess, and present that to your potential employer. We also recommend that after you've gotten through that interview process, then within about a 24-hour period, you should try to reach out to all the people that were on the panel that interviewed via email, at least to say thank you for the opportunity to have the interview with them. Find out what their time frame is for making a decision about that position, and see if there's anything else that you need to do to follow up with them in the future in regards to their final decision. So these are some of the things that I suggest, but I also researched this a little bit with Harvard's School of Business, and these are some of the top 10 things that they recommend for virtual interviews. So if you have something coming up, just kind of think about the same things that we talked about in the beginning. Make sure you have adequate light. Make sure you test all of your equipment. Make sure you dress the part to make sure you show up as yourself and not try to be anybody else. Make sure you watch your body language, that you sit firm, erect posture, look straight into the camera when you are talking to the people. Check for internet connectivity and follow up within about 24 hours after your interview. So if you have an interview coming up, whether you are actually a potential employee looking for a job, or you are a business owner like myself and you are looking to actually develop contracts or relationships with other business owners or other potential affiliates, you also want to make sure that you show up in that same way, because you want to make sure that you win them over, that you get that contract, that they believe that you are strong at what you do, and that you will be a good partner for them to join with. All right, so keep all those things in mind. And if you have any questions, or you guys would like to just discuss this a little bit more, send me a message, or you can DM me, or respond to this live Instagram. I will also post it on my YouTube page, which is PT Works LLC. You can follow me at Dr. Teresa Bristol on Instagram or PT_works14. Thank you and have a fabulous Wednesday.